Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to this video, guys. This is the last section on the chapter of menstruation. So inshallah, let's have a go at this. So tajawaza, it means to go beyond. Jawaza yujawizu, mujawazatan, to go beyond. Dam means, as you guys know, blood. 40. Hadihi al-mar'a, we've done this before. Waladat, it means to give birth. Walada yalidu, it means to give birth. So waladat, she gave birth. Adatun, we know that. Habit. Fin nifas, nifas, post-natal bleeding. Ruddat ila ayyam, so ruddat is majhul. Adatiha, so she'll be returned. وإن لم تكن لها عادة فنفاسها 40 يوما. Okay, if she doesn't have an ada, her nifas will be 40 days. Man waladat, she gave birth. Waladaini, just dual, that is, that's two babies, two children. Fi batan wahid, batan means belly or womb. Aqiba, straight after. So aqib, straight after. Walad, you know that, thani, second. Alright, so those are the translation of the words. Now, I think you guys by now should be able to work this out for yourselves now. So you're getting used to the text, so translation isn't really much of a problem anymore now. So إذا تجاوز, so تجاوز is shart. إذا تجاوز شرط ظرف. تجاوز is the فعل. دم is the فاعل. على is jar. 40 is مجرور. وقد is حالية. تحقيق قد. كانت is فعل ناقص. هذه المرأة, هذه is the اسم. Actually we can make it the مبدل منه. المرأة is the بدل. Right, all of that becomes the ism of kanat. And then waladat, right, is the fi'al plus the fa'il. Qabla is mudaf, and dhalika is mudaf ilayhi. Walaha adatun, so walaha, so haliya laha jar majrur, and that becomes the khabar muqaddam. Adatun is the khabar, fi is jar, and nifas majrur. Ruddat. So all of this now is the shart, right? All of that, you can make all that the shart. Right, you can make that the khabar of kanat will make it, and then but the whole thing is the shart. Ruddat is the fi'l plus fa'il, majhul, naib fa'il rather. Fi'l plus naib fa'il. Ila is jar, ayyam mudaf, adatiha is mudaf ilayhi. Put all that together becomes majroor, and that's all. That's the jawab. That's the jaza of the shart. Okay, so we've got that next. So all this is shart, like I said, and then that's the jaza. In lam takun, so in lam is shart. Lam takun is fi'l naqis. Lam is jazima. Adatun is the ism of takun. Laha is the khabar of takun. And then فنفاسها, nifas is mudaf, ha is mudaf ilayhi, becomes mubtada. 40 يوما, mumayyiz, tamyiz becomes the khabar of nifas. Okay, and that becomes the jaza of وإن لم تكن. Okay, next. ومن ولدت ولدين. So ومن ولدت ولدين. So man is mawsul, waladat is fi'al plus the فاعل. ولدين is the مفعول به. في بطن واحد, so في is jar, بطن is موصوف, واحد is صفة, موصوف صفة put together becomes jar مجرور. And then نفاسها, so all of that now becomes the sila and the موصول. من is the موصول, ولدت ولدين في بطن واحد becomes the sila, becomes مبتدا. فنفاسها, نفاس is مبتدا, ما is موصولة, خرج is فعل, ما خرج فاعل, فعل فاعل, من is jar and مجرور, and عقيب is the مضاف, and then that's مضاف إليه, موصوف صفة becomes the مضاف إليه. Okay, so all of that. عند is مضاف, أبي حنيفة is مضاف مضاف إليه. حنيفة, anyone know why حنيفة has a single fatha? Put it in the comments, inshallah. Okay, wow is ataf, abi is mudaf, Yusuf is mudaf ilayhi, qala is fi'l, Muhammadun and وزفر زفر and فاعل من الولد الثاني جار الولد الثاني موصوف and صفة. Excellent. Right, now by now you guys I think you guys should be able to translate this without really much of a problem. So now we want to look at this masala now. So what is this masala talking about? So this masala is basically, there's three things here that we're discussing, right? So let me just draw them out. So there's a woman and she experiences, she has a child in 2010, let's say, and she experienced postnatal bleeding, right? So she has postnatal bleeding in 2010 after she gave birth to her first child, and the bleeding lasted, let's say, 30 days, and then it stopped, right? So, you know, her bleeding was just 30 days, and it stopped. And if it stops, that's it. Her rules, she's no longer in nifas anymore. And let's say a few years after that, 2014, let's say 2014, she experiences bleeding again, but this time the bleeding is 50 days. So 50 days of bleeding now. So 20 days extra. And it's gone beyond 40 days. So the rule basically is similar to hayd. So if a woman has a habit in hayd and the bleeding on the next occasion goes beyond 10 days, what do? She goes back to her habit, and anything beyond that original habit is going to be considered to be hayd, istihada. So the same thing over here. So let me just make this a bit more in perspective. Right, so after 40 days, so the bleeding continues after 40 days. That means anything after 40 days cannot be hayd. It has to be istihada. The question now comes is between 30 to 40 days, that 10 days there, that bleeding, what do we consider it to be? So like I said, we treat it like the hayd mas'ala, like we did in hayd. And we say that that is also istihada, because if you've watched my videos on uruk.com, you go to uruk, urooq.com. I've got videos there of hayd, and I've done the whole kind of calculation and everything. That's more detailed, that is. But that's basically the ruling for this, that we treat that as being the istihada, and the rest of it is the habit zone, and so that's the postnatal bleeding, which is 30, right? So it overrides. Now this is a scenario if the woman has a habit. So if you look at the text, it says إذا تجاوز الدم, when the bleeding exceeds على 40 over 40, وقد كانت هذه المرأة, whilst this woman previously had given birth قبل ذلك ولها عادة في النفاس, and she has an ada in nifas, which we said in 2010 was how many days? 30 days. If that's the case and her bleeding has exceeded 40 days on her next child, then ruddat ila ayami adatiha, she'll be made to return back to her ada days. So therefore, like I said in the diagram, that anything beyond 30 days will be counted as istihada. Now she didn't know that, because after 30 days when the blood kept coming out, she thought to herself, maybe my ada is changing. So when this happened and then it reached 40, she realized, oh, it's a mistake, right? I should have, treated it as istihada, but that's fine. Allah won't hold account for that. Okay, but that's basically the ruling. وَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ لَهَا عَادَةٌ. Now, the second scenario, second masala now. What if there is a woman and she's never given birth before, and this is like the first time she's giving birth, right? So she's the first time she's giving birth, and let's say it's, 2019, okay, first time she's giving birth. Now, if she gives birth, and so she's Zainab, and let's say she's Fatima. So Fatima gives birth and the bleeding continues for 50 days after she's given birth. In this case, because she has no habit, we're going to use 40 days as her measure. And we're going to say 40 days is bleeding of postnatal bleeding, nifas. And anything beyond 40 days is going to be treated as istihada. Alright, make sense, guys? Okay, so let's look at the text. So it says, وَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ لَهَا عَادَةٌ. Right, so if you look at the text, it says, if she does not have an ada previously, فَنِفَاسُهَا 40 يَوْمًا, then her nifas will be treated as 40 days. When the bleeding exceeds 40 days. Right? That's the second masala. The third and final masala, alhamdulillah, and the chapter's finished, is what if a woman has twins? So which bleeding do you consider to be the meter for 40 days? For instance, let me draw this. So let's say, for example, this lady, she's pregnant. She has two fetuses, two children, right? One boy, one girl, let's say. And she gives birth. The first child she gives birth to is, let's say, in January. So write this down: January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So this is like not very common, but it's just a scenario just to see if you understand the masala. So in January, she gives birth to the first child, right? Let's choose a date, let's say the 10th of January. Now, if the bleeding starts after the 10th, how long can it last for? After which it won't be treated as nifas. So after that, count 40 days from January the 10th. So 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. So you go all the way, it comes to roughly about February the 20th, something like that. February the 19th. Yeah? Everyone agree with that? Okay, so if that's the case, what if she has the other child, right? So that's the 10th. Let's say she had the other child in, let's say, February, but she has it on the 25th, which is definitely after 40 days of the first child. So if blood starts coming out after the first child, do we treat that blood as nifas, or do we start the nifas ruling after the second child? So here there's a difference of opinion amongst the early Hanafis. So Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Abu Yusuf rahimahullah, they said that the bleeding will be counted from the first child. Right, so as soon as the first child comes out, any bleeding that's seen, that's when the tick, 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 the timer for the nifas is going to start. Right, so the timer starts. And Muhammad says no, the timing starts after the second child. So second child, any blood seen before the second child is going to be treated as istihala. Because he says everything in the woman's womb has to come out for nifas to start. Whereas Abu Hanifa and Abu Yusuf say no, as long as something has come out, one child has come out, right, then nifas starts. So that's Abu Hanifa and Abu Yusuf are on that position, right, that the bleeding will be counted as soon as the first child comes out. And as long as the bleeding, whatever, within 40 days, then it's treated as, right, postnatal bleeding, nifas, and anything after that is not treated as. Even if the second child comes out and there's still blood left, it won't be treated as, postnatal bleeding, because there's only one postnatal bleeding for twins, right? Well, Muhammad rahimahullah, he says that you start the postnatal bleeding timing from the second child, right? And this is Zufar's position as well. And there you have it basically. So that's the ikhtilaf. So you see how this ikhtilaf develops. It's because we don't have anything from the time of the Prophet ﷺ or the Sahaba with regards to how we deal with this. So that's why this ikhtilaf comes about. Okay, so Abu Hanifa, Abu Yusuf say the first child, and Muhammad and Zufar say the second child. Right, let's have a look at the text then. So if you have a look at the text says, let me just zoom it a bit out. وَمَنْ وَلَدَتْ وَلَدَيْنِ فِي بَطْنٍ وَاحِدٍ. Whichever woman gives birth to two children in one belly, one womb. So it's not two separate pregnancies, it's one pregnancy with two babies. And some people can have triplets and quadruplets and all those. فَنِفَاسُهَا, then her nifas will be مَا خَرَجَ, that which comes out, عقيبة, after the first child, ولد الأول, عند أبي حنيفة وأبو يوسف رحمه الله تعالى. وقال Muhammad, and Imam Muhammad rahimahullah, he said, and Zufar as well, Zufar, من الولد الثاني, after the second child. Okay, and that's it basically. So that's the three maslas of today. Hope that made sense. Have a go at these questions then. Check out these questions, look at them, read them. Have a go at them, see what you guys can make. Explain how a woman can have a habit for nifas. All you have to do is explain how she has a habit. Right. So does she have to have a previous child to have a habit? Giving you a clue there. If a woman's bleeding exceeds 40 days after childbirth, what advice do you give her? Supposed to be do you give her? So if a woman's bleeding exceeds 40 days after childbirth, what would you say to her? Which days does she count as her nifas and which days is istihala? If a woman bleeds after her first childbirth in 2011 for 25 days, and then for the second child in 2015 for 35 days, what will the second nifas days be considered as? So the second child comes out the second nifas. Is it going to be a second nifas, or is it the only one nifas? Explain. If a woman has twins in her womb, when is nifas officially considered according to the scholars? So have a go at that. Jazakallah khair, and inshallah I will see you next time. Jazakallah khair to all my patrons. Thank you very much for supporting this channel. May Allah reward you abundantly. MashaAllah, we've come this far, alhamdulillah. Lesson 52 of Qudoori as well. So may Allah reward you abundantly. And any of you guys want to become a patron, you get access to videos that the public don't get access to, other durus, nahu and usul, al-fiqh, and other things as well. You can check that out on the in the links below, inshallah, in the description. Thank you very much, guys. Jazakumullah khair, and I will see you inshallah next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. And again, thank you to all my patrons as well for all your support. Jazakumullah khair. May Allah reward you immensely. If you guys want to become a patron, then links in the description below. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.